Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good afternoon to all of the audience. Thank you for the opportunities that has been given to my groups. First of all, let me introduce myself. My name is Adelia Nur Karisma as the first speaker of Group 5. I disagree with the statement that announcing student grades to the class motivate them to perform better. That's not true. Posting the grades up and expecting them to see it as helpful is more like an assumption. According to the Organization of Economic Cooperation and Development, marks and grades are not supposed to be a synonym for assessment. Therefore, according to their research, the grading of information on the achievement and performance of the student to make career path or instructional decision is not the perfect way to communicate the abilities of a student. The evidence that is applied to gather some marks is therefore supposed to be valid and measure what they are intended to measure, but not other factors. According to their study, the instruments to evaluate and present the achievement of a student are supposed to reduce the measurement of error achievement. If the grading has to reflect behaviors, both success and action are supposed to be reported separately with a precise and accurate emphasis on intrinsic motivation.
Good afternoon for all of the audience. My name is Faradillah as the second speaker. I totally disagree with the statement that announcing students' grade to the class motivate them to perform better. It is just waste of time to point out someone lost thinking. It will make a goddamn difference. It is violation. According to the Family Educational Rights and Privacy Act of 1974, FERPA, to publicly post grades either by the student name, institutional student identification number, or social security number without first having obtained the student's written permission. If someone posts it up to your grade, will that help you succeed in any way? For example, in the situation that you know your friends get more scores and he or she gets the highest grades than you, will that can push you to try your hardest for your own good? What is the point? You're going to see a higher grades next time that you didn't even do to help yourself permanently. In regards, you did it just for the moment.
I'm going to say that irrespective of the age group, this will lead to humiliation. High performance students may be motivated, while students who are already struggling will very likely feel humiliated. The problem is that once those grades have been posted, whoever had a low scores may be remembered for it, and depending on the age group, this can lead to being bullied as the dumb one who didn't get it. Even if that didn't happen, it's humiliating to have one's academic struggle made public and can be very distressing for the student. The low performance students are going to feel demoralized and may drop if they're already vulnerable to doubting themselves. I advise against this public display of grades information.
If we publicly announce grades, should we not publicly announce other achievements and failures of kids? No one will question public announcement of sport victories, or awards for community service, science projects, or other achievements. But then why not announce who got decision for particular violation of the rules? We often grade behavior in school with comments about attitudes, motivation, or breaking rules. So why not announce who got decision and for what reasons? Who was tardy, who cut classes, who was taken into police custody, etc. Once we start down that path, few will agree it is a useful exercise. Most will agree these matters are highly confidential. Dr. Jean Beresin is Director for Child and Adolescent Psychiatry Training at Massachusetts General Hospital and McLean Hospital and Associate Professor of Psychiatry at Harvard Medical School, said, "The practice of kids grading other kids is similar in many respects. It is not fair to let kids give other kids grades, as if they had the knowledge or authority of teachers. They may use this or abuse this in ways that may be hurtful to other kids. However, if teacher 1 supervise critiques of writing samples, math problems or other academic work, and if it is done in a sensitive fashion, in which the students are learning how to give and take constructive criticism, that is another story. This practice, however, is highly supervised and should only be done by a teacher who have a lot of experience.
Overall, I strongly stand against the concept of posting grades to the class which is visible and accessible to all. Not all students excel at academics. There are many other areas in which they might be more successful. Putting a student's grade in the class or public view goes against their privacy. People might argue that posting grades in public view might motivate students to perform better as they will get an idea of the competition. However, there are a lot of factors are ignored. A lot of students, mostly high school students, deal with a lot of stress. The mental health of a student is blatantly ignored in most cases. A student who consistently sees his or her bad grades might get pushed into depression. This could further lead to disastrous steps. People argue that we must stop protecting the children of this generation. However, the world we live in today faces competition that we have never seen before. Our parents were never forced to score above 90%. Their choice a good college was not bound by the 90% rule. We cannot ignore that students come from a variety of backgrounds. Not all of them have an access to resources that would allow them to perform better. The risks of public embarrassment and bullying often result in alienation, leading to higher levels of anxiety and stress.
Grading and reporting are not essential to instruction. Teachers don't need grades or reporting to teach well. Further, students don't need them to learn. Flsp and Waldman, 1992. Teachers do need to check regularly on how students are doing, what they've learned, and what problems or difficulties they've experienced. But grading and reporting are different from checking. They involve judging the adequacy of students' performance at a specific time. Typically, teachers are used checking to diagnose and prescribe and use grading to evaluate and describe. Boom et al. 1981. When teachers do both checking and grading, they become advocates as well as judges, roles that aren't necessarily compatible. Bishop, 1992. Finding a meaningful compromise between these dual roles makes many teachers uncomfortable, especially those with a child-centered orientation. Barnes, 1985.
For the conclusion, we do not agree with the statement that announcing student grades to the class can motivate them to perform better, but it is even humiliating, especially for students who get low grades. If this continues to happen, it does not rule out the possibility of stress that can result in mental health, namely stress and anxiety.